Today I'm going to answer one of your art questions about your hands getting sore while you're working with your colored pencils or pencils. Hi, I'm Lisa, the artist behind Lachri Fine Art. Tim writes, "Hi Lisa, I am not so used to drawing, paintings, etc. for long periods of the day, but recently, thank God, I found my place, and I've gotten more into it. The problem is my hands can't keep up with me. Some days I feel all ready to let my art free, but I have pain or tense muscles in my hands. Any tips?" I want to start off by saying nothing I'm going to suggest is medical advice in any way, shape, or form. What I'm going to offer is just my own experience and what has helped me. Because depending on what's causing your specific pain, if you take the wrong advice, you could actually make it worse. For example, for me, I've had pain in my hand and my wrist since I was about 16, 17. And the doctors kept saying I had carpal tunnel and they would give me wrist braces. They insisted that that's all I needed. They thought the carpal tunnel came from violin, which would make no sense because I never practiced. The thing is, these wrist braces were not the right situation, even though I went to the doctor and that's what they had given me. Because my actual problem was arthritis, it caused my joints to start to fuse together, so I lost all range of motion. I mean, I could move my hand about like that. It got really bad really fast. I'd actually worn them for years, and all of a sudden overnight my wrist was like, nope, no more of this. So in this case, doing the wrong thing made it way worse, and it took a while to break that up so that I had the range of motion in my wrist again. But the wrist braces were the worst thing I could have done. So anyway, moral of that story is check with your doctor, because if you do the wrong thing, it is possible you can make things worse depending on what your situation is. Now, if it's just from overuse because you're using muscles that your body is not used to using, that actually happens a lot. It is very, very common, because if you're not used to using certain muscles, you think a pencil, that's no big deal. You're, not using a lot of pressure. It's not the same as going to the gym, but it really can cause the same type of strain on your muscles. So it may just take time for your body to adjust to those new muscles being used. It's the same thing with instruments. I play violin and I am so out of practice right now that when I pick it up, I'm only going to be able to practice for about 15 minutes instead of my normal hour or two that I could normally play, because my muscles aren't used to it anymore. I haven't played in too long, so I have to rebuild that. And it's not just in building the muscles, it's in stretching the muscles too. So one thing that you can do is stretch your hands, stretch your wrists. If you look up hand stretching exercises on YouTube, they'll give you some good ideas, but stretching those muscles can definitely help. You want to consider your posture while you're working, because I think it's really easy. I know for me, I liked to draw flat. I used to draw on a flat table and look down. Well, with the arthritis that I talked about earlier and with my back, I can't do that. It was causing some serious problem and a lot of pain for me. Now, I wasn't willing to give up art, so I had to find an alternative. And for me, it was as simple as sitting upright at an easel and just keeping my posture good. That brace that I wore for a while did help me to get used to holding my shoulders back, but just getting in the habit of keeping good posture. And so if you're working flat on a table, that may be hard on your wrist no matter what. So in that case, a tabletop easel can sometimes help. There are drawing boards that you can just set on your table. Try different positions to see what works for you. If you're very uncomfortable working flat like I was, then sitting upright may be the solution. And some people sitting upright would actually be worse for their back. So it's going to depend on your specific situation. And I know you asked specifically about your hands, but it is something that happens so often to artists where all of our muscles start hurting and getting sore. And you would think, wow, art, that's not exactly a high impact activity, but it can cause problems because we sit in a certain position for so many hours straight when we really get into that work. So we have to stop and stretch our back, walk around, stretch our hands, stretch the muscles. That can all definitely help so that you're able to work longer. Another thing to keep in mind is your eyes. If you are working up close like I do, I have a tendency to want my face right up against the artwork. That is really harsh on your eyes. So what my doctor had told me, because my eyes had gotten really bad really fast when I was a lot younger, and in trying to figure out what went wrong, how they got so bad so quickly, in the period of about 9 months, my prescription more than doubled, so it kind of freaked him out. Well, it turned out I had started painting all the time and I was up so close and not stretching my eyes. So what I do now is constantly look across the room, and that was the suggestion he gave me. Look across the room, relax your eyes, it adjusts how you're using those muscles, and it will definitely help your eyes to handle the whole thing a lot better too. So it's not just our hand muscles or our back muscles we need to consider when we're painting or drawing, it's our eyes. Another thing that had helped with my eyes is having a TV. I used to have one kind of across from my, or above my easel, and so constantly looking up or looking across the room to see what was going on there, that definitely made a big difference for me too. If you can't do a TV or have something to glance at like that, you may want to have a laptop near you that you can have Netflix or something that's, you don't even have to really pay attention. You need something to stretch your eyes, to look at, relax them, and then go back to work. But if you're drawing regularly, it really shouldn't take more than a few weeks or a few months for your body to adjust to using those new muscles. So if you're still having pain after that amount of time, then you need to start considering things like your posture or the angle that you're sitting. All of these things can make a really big difference in the pain that you have while working. And in which case, I would definitely go ahead and talk to your doctor and see if there's anything they can suggest, just to make sure there's not a more serious problem going on. I have a frequently asked questions page over on my website. If you cannot find the answer to your question, I have a section where you can submit your own question to be featured in one of these videos. I will have a card pop up here so you can check that out. Is everyone sitting up really straight now after that? I found even myself talking about it, I'm like, okay, my posture needs to be good. I would love to hear any of the tips you guys have on how to avoid sore muscles while you're painting or drawing. If you're new to my channel, I have 5 new art videos every single week. If you have not already, there is a subscribe button you can hit right there so you can easily keep track of everything. I'll see you on Saturday.